All right, so I got this. Is that the brand? Nice Pump 2. These were Tractor Supply. Normally 70, clearance 54. Problem is, I didn't pay that. What are you, nuts? Tractor Supply is kind of a weird place. The people are lazy there. They'll mark these clearance and they'll never touch it again, and there's no date code on this anywhere. As far as I know, unless 518 is the date code. I'll also start looking into that. But the Tractor Supply, they're very lazy. It's a nice 1 gallon Pump2Pour jug mat. So I had two near me. Tractor Supplies that I knew these were in there, and they were sitting in the back at 55 for the longest time. So finally one day I went in there and I checked it. 15 bucks. They were $15, so I bought them all. All right, so what do you got here? Pump2Pour quick dispenser hydration system. Gallon and half gallon. This one is the gallon one, I believe. I think I already showed that. Yeah, 1 gallon Pump2Pour. 1 gallon Pump2Pour. Are you gonna look through these? No, we're not gonna look through these. All right, so we'll take a look around it. It keeps hot up to 24 hours, cold 48 hours, BPA, blah. Sound like a deer or something? Oh, what is that? 1 year limited warranty, whatever. Whatever, Pump2Pour. All right, so the way this thing works is you got a valve system. This will release the pressure. All right, so you can open this. These things, you got to make sure the seals are done right, or else you're not going to be able to pump it. It's going to leak. And you see, this releases the pressure. Is it even moving? I got to put this back in there. Ah, it sucks holding this stuff because I can't see what I'm doing. All right, that should release that. Pretty sure. Oh no, it's pulling it. You pull it in and releases the air. All right, so you want this on here tight. You want to make sure, if you buy one of these, you want to make sure you have your seals. You need to test it too. So you want to get this on here. Because what happens is here is you put liquid in here and you want to fill it. You want to pressurize it with air. So here's your tube. You would get your thing and go pour your fluids in there. So how this works? Well, let's go over how it works. So the system, you got to push down to unlock this. It's unlocked. Now it's up. Now you could start pumping, and assuming you put it together properly, you pump it up, and if all your seals are correct, you won't hear air leaking out. If you hear air leaking out, you're gonna have to take it all apart and make sure all your seals are seated properly. But now, if there was looking in there, listen. So I just let all the air out. Let me see if I can let some air out over here. All right, so that releases that. All right, so when you're done pumping it, you want to go down. Which way is it? Push and twist. Sorry. Push and twist to lock. So you're going to push down and twist. Did I get that on camera? All right. Kind of hard because it's hard to push down. You want to push down and twist, and that locks it into position. So I believe when you want to open it, you just want to unlock it. All right. And you got to be careful with this handle, because this handle is just clipped in there, and if you start twisting with the handle, it's going to come off. But generally, to loosen it, you're going to have to use the handle, I think. Okay. Alright, so open it up. It comes with some lubrication, silicone. It comes with silicone because it's imperative to keep those seals fresh. So you got some silicone. I guess they're telling you. Calling it lube. Lubey. Alright, so here's more of your seals. You got to make sure those seals are fresh or this thing is not going to hold the pressure it needs to hold. I believe this came off. Because if you're going to buy one of these in the store, you got to make sure everything is in it. Did this come off? I can't remember. Maybe it was this that came off. I know one of these comes off. Lock. Where's it pointed to? Pump. That's in the pump position. And that's the twist it over there to take it off. Yeah, one of these twists will get you to take it off. So the notch is in there. You got to get the notch over to there. How did I do that? I forgot because I took this in the store. Alright, hold on. Alright. So this, pushing it in, that locks it. Push it in and then turn to the left, lets you get into the pump action. Now to get this off, to check the other seal, you have to turn down in there. Recording. Down in there is your knob. When that knob turns and goes to here to lock it, you're pointing. Pump. Pointing at pump. That knob that's down in there, you have to push all the way down, and then there's a channel to twist it and bring it into this area so you can take this apart. Now this isn't easy to do. There we go, I got it. It's not easy to do. I don't know why it's so hard. But as you come up and out of here and take it apart, that's your inside, your pump system. Down below is there where you're pumping and the air gets shot in there. So this is the pumping chamber. And then you have a spring is what makes it come back up. And then here's your other seal. You need to lubricate this seal, because this is actually the main seal that's creating the air that's in there. So that needs to be lubricated. And then to get this to back in, you have to line up the knobs with the ratchets there. And you really got to go all like you gotta make sure the spring goes into the round down there. You gotta make sure the spring is seated straight, and then you have to go all the way down. And there we go. And this locks it. And I already mentioned the seal that's in there. And then there's one other seal where it's going to leak. It's going to leak at this seal. It's going to leak at this seal. And there's a seal here. This right here is a rubber seal. No seals in there. Rubber seal right there. So you want to make sure that seal is sealed properly. Because any of these seals aren't seated properly and not lubricated, like, I have that on crooked. That's on crooked, isn't it? I put that on crooked, I believe. Huh. It looks crooked. Oh, it looks crooked because of this thing. All right. Don't over tighten shit. And there's also a seal inside this pin that's being pressed on. And of course your liquids come up this tube. Yeah, you know all about tubes, don't you? And I think I mentioned the other seal is right there. Maybe I didn't. That white seal there seals to this. Alright. So let's see if me taking those apart to show it messed up any of the seals. So that's going to be other leak down the threads if you don't have this thing tightened down. Good. Oops. And they're showing you that's the max to fill it at because you need to get air in there. Air in the tube. Yeah, you go in there, displaces water. So you don't want to completely fill this thing with water because you're not going to leave any room to get any air in there. So you could try the handle, but I'm telling you, you got to work the handle easy. You don't want to break this handle. All right. So let's see. Down. 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I don't know if 10 is the good one. I hear a leak. I think 10 is too many. Slow leak. All right, the leak stock. All right, so 10 pumps is way too many. And I'm pretty sure this air goes a long way when pushing out water. When you're pushing out a liquid, you don't need that much air. 10 pumps is too many. You're going to blow out your seals. And there you go. That's the nICE Pump2Pour quick dispense hydration system. $15 Tractor Supply. All right, hula jump. It actually kind of worked. The hula jump. You're gonna do it again? Hurry up! You're wasting my video. Forget about this coughing and needing water. All right, the hula jump. You jumped out a little farther, might keep it going.